Coach Massi here from M2 Speed, Strength, and Performance with another episode of Move Your Feet. Back today with Matteo Cervone. Still not on the lookout for the pound. And today I'm going to do something that's, I don't want to say it's out of my wheelhouse. It's part of the industry. It's part of the business. But we're going to talk about flexibility. You hear people all the time say, well, you got to remain flexible, right? You've heard that your entire career. So exactly what does that mean? Well, I think that what we really need to worry about for athletes and everybody is more so mobility, right? Through range, how you move through dynamic range. But before we even get to that concept of mobility, we have to talk about, when people talk about flexibility, there are studies how on overly flexible athletes lose power. A yoga practitioner is not exactly going to be a sprinter most of the time. It's a different thing. But today we definitely want to illustrate what flexibility is. And sort of when you come into our system, we start talking about things like what's flexibility, what's elasticity, and what's contractility, right? Because when you're sprinting, you're basically going from stiff, loose, stiff, loose, stiff, loose when you're sprinting. So I like to demonstrate it with a regular PB mini band. I like to say, so this is flexibility. Boom. You're flexible. You're able to get to your end range, right? So like your grandpa can be super flexible. He can bend over and he can touch his toes, but if he gets stuck down there, he has no elasticity to come up. So he's super flexible, but he lacks the elasticity. So this is flexibility, right? Get to that end range. That's elasticity, to return back to that state that is normal, right? So flexibility, elasticity, and then the last one is really important to us as athletes is contractility, to call up those motor units and get those muscles moving super quick. So we had put together a stupid, simple, and I'm sure we didn't create it, progression that has just seemed to serve people as part of their cool down when they're getting out of here, and they like to do it during the course of the week on their own. It's called F.E.C. Flexibility, elasticity, contractility. So I'm going to make Matteo take that up underneath his knees. Inferior patella. Yes, okay. So he's going to push out on it a little bit. Why don't we face that way so they can see that you're not going to have a ton of flexion at your knees. So he's going to start up. He's going to go down. He's going to brush his quads, go inside his calves and behind to his Achilles. And he's going to try to get his head between his legs, essentially. And he's just going to hang there. Now you can try to straighten out a little bit with the legs as much as you can and hang. So now we're working the flexibility component, and it's a good little stretch, good little cool down. From this position in the flexibility, or the F part of the F.E.C., I ask Matteo to roll up very slowly. And proprioceptively, he's touching his skin. It makes for a good cool down. Okay, now, for elasticity, he's going to go down the same way. We're going to only have him hold it for about 3, 2, 1, then fire back up. Boom. Oh, but isn't that dangerous, Coach? No, it's not dangerous. Okay, go back down. He's still brushing proprioceptively, getting to the back, to the Achilles. 3, 2, 1, boom, return up. Good. That's the elasticity portion of this. Now we go to contractility, which is just up, down with about 20 degrees flexion, boom. And this part might be considered preparatory or an activation, and rest. So it's a simple progression. F.E.C., flexibility, elasticity, contractility. You give your athletes their bands, they put their bands in the bag, they put this in their toolbox, their box of tricks, into their knowledge, into their wisdom, and into their application. So until next time, Coach Massi with another episode of Move Your Feet. Greatness is forged, not fabricated. That's your day.